is a pleasure to serve under your chairmanship, Madam Chair. And I would just like to say a huge thank you to the member for Truro and Falmouth, but also every member who's spoken about their experience today. I think it's really important that we are having this debate, and particularly around the effect of COVID on services. This debate is a very difficult one for me today. I haven't planned to talk about my experience today because the experience of many of my constituents and the stories from up and down the country show that lessons desperately need to be learned and more support is needed for how we support people through the COVID crisis. But after hearing your contributions, I feel that it's only fair that I share my story. So my thoughts go out to all those families who are facing bereavement and baby loss and miscarriage at this time. I want to focus particularly on partners being able to attend appointments, emergency and otherwise, mental health and redeployment of key staff. I think we need to recognise that this is not just a short-term challenge, and we could be seeing many, many more months of disruption as a result of COVID-19. As we know, as many as 1 in 4 pregnancies will end in miscarriage, and there are 14 stillbirths happening every day. I first raised the issues of maternity services back in June because I heard from my constituents concerns about these issues. Little did I know that I would be experiencing a miscarriage in August and having to go through some of the issues that my constituents had raised with me. Going to A&E, my partner having to wait in the car park, getting confused and muddled about my dates, being unable to have a hug, someone to hold my hand, or support to hear the news that I was having a miscarriage. It was a very difficult situation, and one that I want no one else to have to go through. No one should have to hear news on their own. Yeah, I will.
Thank the member for giving way, and I think we would all like to express our thanks in your bravery in sharing your personal experience, especially since it is so soon and clearly so raw, but also one that your constituents have written to you, and you are doing a fantastic job in representing them here today.
Thank you. So I can't see because my glasses have steamed up because of my tears. But receiving bad news on your own is not only incredibly traumatic and challenging, but then having to go and repeat that news to your partner in a car park is another level of difficult. At a point when you are struggling to process the information being given to you, it is impossible to take in everything that has been raised with you or answer any of your partner's questions when you get into the car. No one should be put in that position, but too many people have been. Whilst I welcome the government's change in advice and guidance on allowing partners to scans and appointments, it is currently not enough to improve access. I urge the Minister to do more and not assume that the job is done on this. Unfortunately, when I talk to my local services about my own experience and others, they say they're still unable to operate in a way that is safe to allow partners. I know partners are being forced to wait outside, not knowing what is going on the other side of those walls, unable to attend and support their loved ones, including those who have already experienced the loss of a baby, being unable to discuss options, and many being left alone for long periods after receiving devastating news, as staff are unable to comfort them other than to offer a tissue. My constituent has started a petition campaigning for access to neonatal and specialist units to ensure that all parents with a baby are able to visit their child if they are receiving extra care. It is clear this again depends on postcode. Simple steps like testing both parents to allow them to visit when their child has to stay in hospital and receive treatment could easily fix that situation. I therefore urge for more medium-term answers to be provided, increased investment and space found for more COVID-secure provision, whether on a regional footprint or in the community within every trust. This should not be down to postcode. Everyone going through this should have the right to be treated with compassion and dignity, and that compassion should extend into providing even more support in terms of bereavement and counselling at this time. The support that parents or siblings would usually provide to their families is also very difficult. I've not been able to hug my mum since August, and it's very, very hard. We know space for memory making has also been squeezed, and I would urge such spaces to be protected, as this is key to the healing process and grieving process. I want to next focus on the redeployment of staff in this area too. Firstly, I want to pay tribute to all the NHS and local authority staff who are working incredibly hard under extremely difficult circumstances. However, I would like to question the decision to redeploy health visitors and midwives who play a key role in helping detect issues. The redeployment of such staff doesn't accept the reality that pregnancy and complications will continue. They are not elective services and they will not stop during a pandemic. What we have seen is caseloads massively jump up, in some cases to hundreds more than usual, as staff are left in services are unable to give their normal professional standard and time to each family. Harrowing reports were covered by the BBC Radio 4 Women's Hour on the experience of mothers and the workforce earlier in the year, and this is one of the biggest issues that was raised. I hope the Minister will ensure that it is not again repeated in the current spike or future spikes, and will be able to make the case to the department that these are vital key services for which there is no pause or stop button. Finally, I hope we can all agree that this issue needs more action and support for our constituents must be prioritised. We can't face us going back to a situation where partners wait in the car park, and we need to fix the postcode lottery on that. Thank you.